Hello, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat dyan sa Vancouver and throughout Canada to this FieldNet roundtable discussion with the theme Navigating New Horizons, Addressing Settlement and Integration Challenges for Overseas Filipinos. And I greet my colleagues there from the government, Consul General Gina Hamoralin, who until recently was our Philippine ambassador to Jakarta, Indonesia. My name is Robert O. Ferrer Jr., Assistant Secretary, Office of Migration Affairs of the Department of Foreign Affairs. So, Undersecretary Eduardo De Vega earlier discussed the provision of ATN services to Filipinos all over the world with focus on Canada. Now, Canada is a very special nation to the Philippines because traditionally it has welcomed Filipinos as immigrants. And we recognize the warm welcome provided by the Canadian government and also through the provinces in making sure that our overseas Filipinos, our students, our immigrants, they are there and they are accepted and they are given pathways for legal migration. Now, what is my office about? DFA Office of the Undersecretary for Migration Affairs used to be called DFA Office of the Undersecretary for Migrant Workers Affairs. But since the passage of Republic Act 11641, the DFA has shifted to not just traditional ATN or assistance to nationals roles, and including the disbursement of the Legal Assistance Fund and the ATN Fund for needy Filipinos abroad. It is now also handling migration policy and migration advocacy. So the mandate is now broader and not just encompassing those Filipinos who are not covered by migrant worker offices, such as our Filipinos in many parts of Africa, our Filipinos in many parts of Asia, our Filipinos in Latin and South America who have no resident migrant worker offices, but these are covered on a non-residential basis from the migrant worker offices or MWOs in Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. So we are now, the DFA, basically covering Filipinos who are not covered by the MWOs, but we are also urging and awaiting the opening of more MWOs or migrant worker offices. These are the attaches in charge of our OFWs all over the world. In fact, in all of our posts worldwide, so that we have a partnership called the One Country Team. So the entire diaspora story of the Philippines is very interesting, and Canada is one such large and successful example. So we call this, for lack of a better term, because it's an ongoing conversation, the Filipinas Ultramar vision, wherein your country is already not just limited to the 300,000 square kilometers of the Republic of the Philippines, as you know it, or where you came from, but wherever there are communities of Filipinos worldwide. So an example, a visible example of this is every June 12, every major plaza of every major capital of the world is host to a Philippine fiesta or a Philippine celebration of Philippine Independence Day. So kahit nasa ibang bansa na po kayo, dala-dala ninyo yung pagka-Pilipino ninyo and you have your culture with you. And the Department of Foreign Affairs has an office of cultural diplomacy that is also tackling this, and many senators and congressmen and women are also advocating this tinatawag po nating cultural diplomacy, or other countries call it diaspora diplomacy. So itong Filipinas Ultramar was covered by mainstream media and was endorsed by senators and members of Congress who are in attendance, the church, and also NGOs, cause-oriented groups. So it's an ongoing conversation. And please check the website of the Foreign Service Institute. Nandyan po sa screen, www.fsi.gov.ph, or go to the Overseas Filipino Help page on FB, which is our website, our FB page. So once you go to the FSI, just click on Migration Matters, and you can download the conversation there and recordings of speeches. So what is the diaspora doing in Canada over many, many decades? So the diaspora in Canada has been very successful Many Filipino films have been shot in Canada, and there's an entire Filipino kamalayan or entity or thought or community in Canada. So it is host to a growing number of Filipinos. So in 2015, there were only 600,000 documented Filipinos that we know of. That was in 2015. In the 2021 Statistics Canada census, the numbers reached 960,000 or almost 1 million Filipinos in Canada. So it is projected that this number could drastically increase even further, with the number increasing to approximately over 1 million Filipinos in Canada. So Filipino international students are a large component of the Filipino diaspora in Canada. The ambiguous migration pathway, however, taken by Filipino international students, especially those engaged in remunerated activity in Canada. Remunerated meaning nagtatrabaho po kayo at may sweldo kayo, and you are not just there as students but as workers. Now, these Filipino students have eluded the Philippines' traditional migration mechanisms that would have ensured your safety and well-being. Hindi po kayo dumaan sa OEC process, hindi kayo dumaan sa pre-departure orientation seminar because many of you have gone there as students. Now, Canada, in many instances, have given you pathways to become overseas workers, basically. So you would have to be covered at some point by the Department of Migrant Workers or the MWOs who are covering 1 million Filipinos there. So both offices have yet to be assigned labor attaches or migrant worker attaches. So there are two MWO offices in Canada. So the positions have been vacant for 1 year, and we are eagerly awaiting for these positions to be filled. So I urge all international Filipino students to seek legal pathways to become legal migrants, legal immigrants in Canada, and our MWO officers will be able to help you integrate, as well as other agencies, not just DFA, including CFO or Commission on Filipinos Overseas. So we have the next slide, please. So you can see here, Canada Posts are coming up with a Canada-wide registry of Philippine nurses who are registered in the Philippines and are already in Canada. And this is going to be shared with the provincial governments so that common po yung database and information na natatanggap ng host provincial governments and by our embassy and by even the Philcom groups. So implementing a registration and contact as part of the consular processing is also underway, making use of third-party solutions that use two-way mobile alerts and geofencing, similar to the notification alert system adopted by Global Affairs Canada, adopting an ID system which may face the challenge of acceptability to Canadian offices. So overseas Filipinos in Canada are urged to follow legal pathways to gain recognition as law-abiding citizens of Canada, which welcomes highly skilled Filipino workers. So the enduring example of Dr. Ray Pagtakhan, a successful Filipino immigrant, he has expressed interest also in the Filipinas Ultramar vision. He is inspirational, and we urge all Filipinos in Canada to follow his and other successful examples of successful integration, and they have been highly valued by Canada. They are not just immigrants, they became leaders of Canada. So you see here, why are Filipinos needed in Canada? Canada, look at the color of Canada there. It's not exactly light blue, but sky blue. And that means it has a demographic trend that is downward, meaning the darker red or maroon your country is, the more children you have per couple. The darker blue your country is, the less children you have per couple. So the Philippines has 1.9 children per couple. We're slated to have 170 million population by in 70 years. But many countries, especially Western Europe, Korea, Japan, China, will have seriously degraded demographic trends. So they need manpower, and they need quality Filipino manpower, which the Philippines can provide as long as we do it in partnership. So reality checks, we have proposals also to involve the diaspora in helping the host countries, such as this concept called Bayanihan Corps, led by the Office of the Undersecretary for Civilian Security and Consular Affairs, and they are very welcome to also address you on a different fora. So yun lang po. Maraming salamat sa pagkakataong ito na makasama po kayong muli. And before I end, I just like to show you this slide. This town hall meetings, at ito yung role ninyo sa bagong Pilipinas. Go to the Malacanang website and you will have resources there on what bagong Pilipinas is all about. Elimination of corruption, reducing red tape, kaayusan sa lahat ng gawain ng Pilipino. And we have been holding these town hall meetings all over the world, initiated by the DFA or by the Foreign Service Posts. What is the purpose? To basically include you in the strategic goals of the Philippines as enunciated by the President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and the goals of the One Country Team. What is One Country Team? All agencies po, led by the DFA abroad, to advance Filipino interests wherever they are, such as integration, coordination with the host countries' national disaster risk reduction and management councils, etc., for the provision of assistance to Filipinos who are residing in host countries such as Canada. So mag-ingat po kayo and God bless sa inyong lahat. Thank you very much for this opportunity once again.